Guys, be smart. Kick the habit. Put it out before it puts you out. We've heard these phrases 100 times, but the habit can be hard to kick. Our sponsor, Fume, is here to help. Fume is a natural diffusive device with an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic ink cap. Their new version 2 model is snappy and tactile. Your fingers will always have something to do. Fume's had thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who found success when other solutions didn't work. Head to tryfume.com/Chael. Use the code Chael to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's tryfume, FUM.com. Use the code Chael. That's going to save you 10% off your entire order, or just click on the link below. All right, guys, we can make one heck of a case for doing a rematch between Islam and Volkanovski. But we're either going to do it or we're not. So if you're making a case why you only got 50% more of the job to do to tell the other side of the story, so let's work out why they would not, okay? The one good thing we get from the interim championship. I like the interim belt. I've always liked the interim belt. I wish they'd bring back a super fight belt. I like the BMF belt. I admit it. I like opportunity. I like recognition. I know how important that is, and it's good for morale. And if somebody gets it, good for them. But one thing about the interim, much like all the other rules in this sport, we are going to fiercely adhere to whatever we make up on the spot. One thing about the interim, though, it has always served as a number 1 contenders match. You've got the interim belt, you're going to fight the undisputed champion. Now, why do I say that? Well, if we're going to do a rematch, we're going to do a Volk versus Islam. Okay, we're not just going to redo that. We are going to make Volkanovski a 55-pounder. We have to. But he also has to burn his ships. I mean, Volk did damn near everything perfect in this match. He truly did. I mean, a tougher man has not walked the planet. However, one thing he didn't do was burn his boats. You've seen many senators run for the presidency. But they were never taken serious to be president unless they resigned as senator. And I'm just bringing this to you because if you're a 45-pounder and you're gonna eat some food and do some bench press, I mean, right? You saw that so that he could gain a couple of kilos, knowing that you've got to take it back off. The whole reason Adesanya at 205 did not work is Adesanya never committed to 205, and the entire reason that Jon Jones, who's gonna be heavyweight champion after leaving 205, which is the greatest discrepancy, is because he did burn his boats. He committed. He gave that belt back. He went and twink-tonged and twinkied himself to where he can't get back to 205. It's got to work. But we have to start with that. I mean, it's the only thing that cost Volk. If Volk's going to go up and he's going to do a rematch, he's no longer 45-pounder. Rodriguez, congratulations on the fight that nobody saw. Now makes you the undisputed champion of Volk. You've got to go here, which means, Volk, if you fail, you are no longer world champion. Do you understand? Volk, if you fail, you are not only no longer world champion, you will go into no man's land, much like Colby Covington, as it pertains to getting another world title opportunity, as long as Islam stays number 1. I mean, it would take that level of a commitment. And that would be enough. That would push him over the edge. There's a lot of talk if they rematched of, who learned more and who would do better. But it's not even close. Islam. I apologize. I meant to say Volkanovski. Volkanovski, without question, is the one who was apprehensive out there. Volkanovski's the one that waited to engage. He's the one that talked himself into the fight as the fight was going on. Nobody was more surprised at the success Volkanovski was having in that fight than Volkanovski. Do you guys remember the night? This is a great one. Justin Gaethje beat Tony Ferguson. Nobody was more surprised than Justin Gaethje. And I'll only bring that to you because now that Volk does know that, he doesn't slow down. His combinations don't change. Islam wanted to drag him down to the ground or even having an urgency to do so. None of these things change. So it really would be an interesting match. But if we're going to do that, if we're going to do a rematch, let's make sure that we commit to it. I mean, that is the one thing. If you have Volkanovski here right now, he'd say, yeah, Chael's right. I didn't think of it like that, but Chael is right. I always knew I was going back to 45. There was always a reason I didn't relinquish. Is I wanted that soft place to fall. And I found it. And it will be very interesting for me how Volk handles this. Now, I want to be real fair here. He's got no judgment from me. Whatever he does will be okay. But Volk is the one that said the number one pound for pound in the world is up for grabs. The media didn't say that. We didn't say it. You didn't say it. Dana didn't say it. Volk said it. Islam didn't ask for it. Islam didn't demand it. Team Khabib and Javier Mendez, between Dagestan and the AKA, nobody said it. It was said by Volk. Volk said, you put up that belt, I will put up my title. But now that the fight is over and we're having a debate as to who should be number one, Volkanovski says he won the match. I don't have a problem with this, by the way. I really don't have a problem with this. I'm just curious how that's going to be handled. There's different levels of sportsmanship. And in all fairness, if you think you won the fight, come out and say that you won the fight. Having a rematch between these two seems to make all the sense in the world, except for these two talking about having Charles Oliveira in the audience for a cameo where he does nothing and says nothing. You cannot have a 155-pounder that deserves an opportunity more than Benny Darush, who has done nothing and said nothing. As a matter of fact, I was told by a very good inside source, Hans, that Oliveira is going to be fighting Darush. And I heard that rumor somewhere. I mean, if those two were going to fight, I should know about it. I should have made you guys pieces. I should have been doing dates on this. But only those two knuckleheads could have a big fight coming up that nobody knows about. So maybe Hans is right. Maybe it is going to be Oliveira in Darush. But if it is, it only strengthens my point. Then who is going to fight Islam? And you could bring in a little 45-pounder, and you could do that back at home. We could do same, try to rematch this whole thing. Maybe we find a little bit of a different destination. I mean, there's a lot of ways that we can do this. But if we are going to do it, there has to be a commitment. The boat's got to be burned. And the 45-pound belt has got to be relinquished.